Okay, so the whole conversation around AI in our schools, it's kind of boiling over, right? You've seen the headlines, they're all screaming about cheating and brain rot, but then you also hear this other story, this vision of a total revolution in how we learn. So, what's the real deal? Is this thing a destructive force, or could it actually be the most powerful educational tool we've ever had?
Let's just get right to it, because this is the question on everyone's mind, and it's a totally fair one. The fear is pretty simple. If a student can just ask for an answer and copy-paste it, are they really learning anything? Are they even processing it? Even the people making the tech, like Leah Belsky at OpenAI, they admit that if students only use it as an answer machine, well, quote, they're not going to learn. That right there, that's the core of the anxiety.
And that brings us to this crucial fork in the road. It all comes down to this distinction. You see, the exact same technology can be two totally different things. On one path, it's just an answer machine, a simple shortcut that kind of bypasses the whole learning process. But on the other path, it's a personal tutor, a guide that can actually deepen understanding. Which path we go down? Well, that changes everything.
So to really get a handle on that personal tutor idea, you have to understand the massive ambition behind it. This isn't just about tweaking homework a little bit. For the people creating this is about aiming for something completely transformative. It's a true moonshot for human potential.
And just so we're all on the same page about the scale we're talking about, 600 million. Let that number sink in. 600 million people are using ChatGPT. That basically makes it the world's biggest learning platform, like right now. And here's the wild part. Most of this is happening completely outside of schools. It's this giant grassroots movement of people deciding to learn on their own.
This quote, it really nails the mission. When Leah Belsky came on board at OpenAI, her directive wasn't just, go build a product. The order was, go after the moonshot. Chase the biggest, highest dream. Create something that could be a tutor and a companion for anyone, anywhere, for their entire life. That's the real goal here. All right, so that's the grand vision. Super ambitious, but what does this actually look like on the ground? In a real classroom on a random Tuesday. Well, it turns out teachers and students are already in the thick of it, experimenting, adapting, and honestly, finding some pretty surprising ways to make it work. Some teachers are getting really clever about this. Instead of just banning AI, check out what this one computer science professor did. He offered his students a choice. You can do the project the old-fashioned way, no AI, or you can use AI. But if you do, the assignment gets harder, and you have to write a reflection about how you use the tool. All of a sudden, AI isn't a shortcut anymore. It's a launch pad for a much tougher, deeper task. And you're seeing this shift everywhere. A university student named Yabi, she noticed her professors are backing away from simple memorization. It's less, define this vocabulary word, and more, how would you actually apply this concept in a real situation? The focus is moving to meaning, to the big picture. Because let's face it, AI can handle the simple definitions. It's just like when calculators showed up. They freed us from doing tedious arithmetic so we could focus on much higher-level math. So how do you nudge people toward being a personal tutor instead of that answer machine? Well, OpenAI's idea was to build the tutor model right into the tool itself with this feature called study mode. Okay, so here's how it works. Instead of just dumping a wall of text on you, it's more of a conversation. A student named Alep tried it. He asked it to teach him about AI. But instead of an answer, it asked him 3 questions back to figure out what he really wanted to know. Then it broke the topic down into chunks, and this is the key part. It came back later and quizzed him on it. It actually forces your brain to make those connections and remember the stuff. But look, this goes way beyond just memorizing facts for a test. For a lot of people, the biggest change here is something way more personal, more emotional. It's about having the confidence to even try to learn in the first place.
I mean, listen to this incredible story from Leah Belsky. Her daughter has dyslexia, and she felt left out because she couldn't read the newspaper like her brother. So Leah just handed her a phone with ChatGPT's voice mode, and her daughter just asked it, "Can you tell me what's going on in the world?" The AI started this patient, personalized conversation with her, and it unlocked not just information, but this feeling of connection she'd been missing.
Or think about this computer science student. She kept getting totally stuck on concepts in her textbook. She was about ready to give up on the whole thing. But with an AI tutor, she could ask endless questions, even the stupid ones, without feeling judged. It gave her the confidence to see that she could get it, and that kept her going. An AI tutor never gets tired, it never gets impatient. It's just there.
And, sometimes that confidence just comes from playing around. When Yabby, that university student, first tried ChatGPT, she didn't ask it about quantum physics. Her first prompt, she asked it to write fan fiction about Shrek. Yeah, you heard that right. It's a funny example, but it's perfect. It shows how this tool can be a space for just low-stakes, creative fun that can spark curiosity in really unexpected ways.
Now, this isn't me saying it's all some perfect, rosy future. Not at all. In fact, the biggest believers in this tech are also the ones thinking the hardest about the very real challenges and concerns that are coming up.
And you should hear the fears from the students themselves. They're really smart about this. A lot, for example, he worries that his friends are just going to use AI as a crutch and completely skip learning the fundamentals. They'll have a house of cards for knowledge. And Yabby, she brings up a totally different risk. What happens if everyone starts relying on a single AI for answers? You could end up with this massive echo chamber, a centralized truth that kills the whole idea of doing real, diverse research. These are not easy problems to solve.
Which brings us right back to that big, scary word, cheating. But as Yabby pointed out, we might be at a point where we have to redefine what cheating even means. Think about it. Every new technology forces this conversation. The panic about kids copying from ChatGPT sounds an awful lot like the panic about them copying from Wikipedia, which sounded just like the panic about them using a parent's old essay. The very idea of what's original is changing right under our feet. So, maybe this is the best way to think about it all. Instead of constantly asking what we might be losing, what if we ask what we're gaining? If AI really is the new calculator, if it automates all the tedious stuff and gives us instant access to knowledge, then what bigger, harder, more interesting problems are we and the next generation finally free to go out and solve? Now that's the real question.